Hi everyone, and welcome back to Scrap Addict Creations. I'm Diane, and today we're going to be doing a little different project. I know this looks kind of weird on my desk right now. This has been tidied up from my video, and this video is on how I organize my paper and what I'm doing with OneNote. I have switched to OneNote, and I will explain a little more of that in a bit. So let's get organizing. So today I am actually organizing my paper. I do this every once in a while because we all have so much paper and we're not using it, and this kind of gets me back in touch with some of the paper, as well as tells me if I don't like something, I can get rid of it. Or, oh wow, I forgot I had that. I love that paper. What do I have that I can use it for? One thing I have noticed as I'm going through a lot of my papers, which I do store in these paper pouches. Now, Close to My Heart has excellent paper pouches. I love them. They're very durable. They're a little too much for what I need for this part. I do use those for like my kids' school stuff. I've got them all by year and I've got everything in there and I love that. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But for this, I use Totally Tiffany's Scrap Rack paper. They're just paper things. I'm sure there's a technical name, and I'm sorry. I just use these. I buy them in packs of 50, and they're awesome. Now, I have found I like to have a label on them, and I have found that sometimes the labels are very difficult to get off. I can get them off of some. Once I can't, I've started just deciding I'm going to put it over the top. Why not? I'm sure that one will come off easier. So another thing I have decided, and I know I started kind of talking about this, sorry, my mind's all over the board because I'm like organizing. And I normally don't have a workshop one that's separate. And in the past, I haven't worried about it, but some paper lines I have a ton of paper because I've got plans for it for like Nora's birthday, Nora's birth, Nora's baby book, all those things. I have certain plans for my papers, and I haven't really done much with the kids, like toddlers and babies and stuff. And so I'm keeping things aside. Well, I have workshop kits. For example, I just bought another one of this Life Sahoot. And that's why it's kind of on my mind about Nora, is because I specifically bought another set of this for Nora. And I like the bits, of course, that's why I bought it. But we have all these die cuts, okay? So with me, I keep going, sorry, I was putting that away. I keep going in and out with the papers, and I'm taking them in and out and everything, and things are getting ripped. I found a couple of die cuts that I really like on another one that another one of my workshop kits. I don't think it was Backyard Bliss. Oh, I think it was Candid Moments, actually. And yeah, it was starting to get ripped, see, because I was pulling paper in and out. So now I have some templates that I used someplace. I've got these big swirls, and I've got all of the die cuts and assorted papers that are only with the workshop kit going into a workshop file, and I will file those separately. So I've done like Backyard Bliss. I'm working on Are We There Yet? And I'm also taking the time to sort my papers. I think that this is actually one, I'll see, but I think that's one of the mix-ins, because I've also kind of just stuck things in places. And so the nice part about this is it gives me time to kind of just go through my papers and say, okay, I have enough of this, I can do something. I'm kind of saving this paper for my sister's trip. They just got back from this amazing trip, and I think I've talked about it. They were in like Croatia and Rome, Italy, Venice. I mean, they were all over. Okay, so these are the workshop bits. I'm not going to put the sticker in here. I do have some paper. What's at the back here? Another sticker sheet. Okay, so paper, I am going to file with my regular paper. It is safer there, and it doesn't take up as much space. So we're going to grab the Are We There Yet workshop kit, and I'm going to slide these in here. Now normally, oh, never mind. I was going to say normally I have the instructions. I do have the instructions. I just set them off to the side. So those will go in here. So this is just the workshop kit. There's nothing else in here. With this workshop kit though, did it come with... It did. Okay, so it came with these little guys. Oops. See, it's getting hung up just with a little bit in there. I'm going to keep these with this. Okay, so that is my workshop kit. Now I've sorted out these papers. I didn't have much to sort, which is kind of nice. I was looking at, I have, what's the next paper? Hope and Kindness. That one's kind of scaring me. Okay, so we've got the paper. We've got 2 sticker sheets. We've used some. I have some scraps. Oh, I have 3 sticker sheets. Cool. That's awesome. I have some scraps. I don't have as much of this paper as I thought I had, which is kind of disappointing to me. I'm going to keep those little zip strips. So see, I've got all that. It's all tidy in here. For some reason, I have a circle. I have no idea why, but I'm going to put this now tidily, if that's a word, back into my Are We There Yet file. And then I'm going to show you, oops, what I do next. But see, doesn't that look, well, I guess you didn't see it prior. Let me see. I don't have, oh, I do have my Hope and Kindness I can show you. So this is what my Hope and Kindness looks like right now. It's a hot mess. There is so much stuff in here. Luckily, there is not workshop kits because then they would get messed up. But nothing's in order. It's all just a mismatch. And so I need to organize that one. That's kind of next on my list anyway. But I had this one out and I thought, I might as well share because, it might help somebody. I don't know if this is something that works for you. I like how tidy this is. That's my thing, is I want to be able to grab this and be like, okay, I have everything I need here. Or if I'm looking for a workshop, I have it in the workshop place. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't have separated those, but I'm starting to damage them. And I am going to just put the workshops in one set. So the next step that I do, and I'm going to go over to my monitor and share with you. So we've got Picture My Life cards here. We've got the digital set, and then I went online and I found the paper and the sticker set. So I use OneNote. Now I used to use Evernote, and when I switched to being a maker for Close to My Heart, I decided to switch to OneNote, partially because Evernote was kind of overwhelming me at that point, and I knew I had a lot of work, and so it was easier just to kind of start over. The other is, and I'm sure that this is the same thing on Evernote, I like the sticky note type options. I have it on my cell phone, but I also feel like what I'm about to do, I'll show you, it has like little sticky notes. So because I am going to grab this paper, I'm going to copy this image and I'm going to go over here. Come on, click. I always have to click and make sure it stays there. Otherwise, oh, it's a mess. Okay, so we have different papers here, and actually I should probably have not put them away quite yet because I need to write down some stuff. So bear with me, I am not the best speller. Thank God for spell check, that's all I can say. Okay, so pattern paper. We have one that is a map, and then on the back side of it, we have, looks like postage. I think that's that one. Let me look. Yeah, postage. It's actually canceled postage. I bet it's called. Okay. And then the next one we have, what would this be called? Let's see, they're kind of icons, but they are travel icons. Let's do travel icons. Yeah, this is the hardest part about this. Oh, and then we have arrows. Oops. Sorry, I pushed control instead of capitalizing with my shift key. Okay, then the last one is luggage. And then we have, oh shoot, what are those called? I think they're called travel markers. Trip markers? We'll call them travel markers for right now. Okay, so at first when I was starting to do this, I was counting how many sheets I had of each paper. That is not going to work for me. I was hopeful that it was going to, but it's just not going to. So I decided to just stop doing that and just realize that I am not going to keep on top of that. And then I decided I was going to add in here if I have, so I have stickers and I have 3 sets of them. I do have the workshop kit. Oops. I only have one of those. And this is kind of where it's important for me to know what I have, that I have just the one workshop kit. So if I'm going to do a project and I look at this and I'm like, oh, I only have one workshop kit, is that enough? And that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now with saving this paper for Jennifer, is do I actually have enough? And I think if I'm pretty frugal with the paper, I can probably get at least a layout for each of the cities they did, maybe a little more. We'll see. Okay, so the next is the PML cards. Now, of course, they've canceled that program, so we won't be having those in the future, but I have them for past ones. So I do have, I think it is 2 sets. I'm going to actually go back and just put 1 set. I think I do have 2 sets of them, but just to be safe, I'm just going to put 1 set on there. Okay, and then the next one would be the digital files. And I'm just going to put, oops, I'm just going to put nothing else there because I have the digital files. I don't need to put yes. If it's marked on there, I know I have it. Okay, so we've got the paper and the stickers. The next would be coordinating stamp sets. Now I am currently redoing all of my stamp sets. I know that I have Are You There Yet? Card making. I have Are You There, oops, yet? Card making workshop. Oops, let's go back here. And then I have Are You There Yet? I do like my stuff kind of capitalized. Sometimes it bites me in the tushy. And then I have the scrapbooking. Scrapbooking. I think it's just scrapbooking. Okay, so that's another important thing. I'm not putting the pictures of the stamp sets here because I have them elsewhere. I am, though, next doing coordinating cardstock. Did I spell that right? I did. Woohoo! Okay, so for this one, we have Bluebird. And I'm just taking it right off the zip strip. Glacier. Honey Butter. Linen. Papaya. Sage. Sapphire. I spelled that wrong. Okay, Sapphire, Toffee, and White Daisy. Okay, so where this comes in handy for me is when we have things that are discontinued. Like we'll be coming up in August, we'll be having some papers that are discontinued, and that's okay. You know, I mean, of all the things I'm disappointed in of the new catalog, it's just the pop tape. All the other stuff, it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, things change and we all just go with the flow, and sometimes it's sad and sometimes it's wonderful. So you just never know, what you're going to get into. But with this, I kind of know now what the colors are. If I end up taking, oops, I don't have a capital on that toffee. Let's fix that. If I end up taking all of the zip strips off, now I know I can go on here safely and put these colors to use with my paper because I know what they are. It also saves me the time of trying to find a zip strip if I have them in here and they're just kind of loose. So that's just kind of my personal wants, is having that. Another thing that I will probably do in the future is go through and take the time to add in all of the information off of the sticker sheet. I have decided not to do that quite yet because it's kind of an overwhelming task, but in the future I would like to do that. So the other items that I'm going to add on here is we have this digital collection. And so this is the only area I'm going to put the digital collection at this point. I might someday put a thing with all of the digital collections in OneNote. I don't know. The other is, since I do have these, and I always click on the picture, make it as big as possible. Oops. We do not want to save it. We want to copy it. And then I copy them and I just put them over here into OneNote. And then I just kind of arrange them how I like. So when you've got a picture that's on close to my heart, or whatever company you're doing this from, always try to make the picture as big as possible, because you can size it down in the program, but your original, if it's as big as possible, is clear as possible. Okay, so I just fixed a few of the capitals because I do like my items to have capitals, and I didn't put that question mark there. And it might not be very important to have the question mark there, but again, if I'm searching for something, I want to have it as accurate as possible. But that's kind of what you do when you go back and forth on things. Another thing that I would love to have on here, but I don't have a picture of it yet, is the embellishments. In fact, I need to actually just say that I have the embellishments, and these are rubber embellishments. Oops. Okay, so we've got that on there. I think that's about it on that right now. I could go through and kind of itemize what's on the digital file. Maybe later I'll do that. Right now, my goal is really just to get these papers in. So I was working in my OneNote, and I have just Diane's folder. And I was, actually, I'll go to up here and I will show you. So I'm changing my notebooks. So Diane's notebook, I guess is what it was called. And there's all sorts of stuff that keeps popping up everywhere. So right now I have close to my heart stamps. I started at C right here because I will show you actually where I'm going there. I'm going to move Jaded Blossoms to one of its own. Close to my heart dies will probably become one of its own. I'm in the thought process on that. Ink will probably become one of its own. Embossing folders, Stampin' Up! Stamps, and Lawn Fawn stamps will each have their own space, because I'm getting kind of hits back when I use my search key up here, and I'm getting a lot of the different stamp companies. And when I want to do something that I only want close to my heart in, it's a little more difficult. It's not impossible. I just, for my tidiness right now in my brain, I need it separate. So what I have done here is I started doing close to my heart stamps, and I've only done it up to B right now. The C doesn't have anything on it yet. Excuse me. So right now I have all of my A stamps. I have the verbiage. I have the image information. These are my little, like I said earlier, Post-it notes. I've got the picture, and most of the pictures I have are from close to my heart. If I buy a retired set, I have to go searching online. I try to find the best picture, and I try to make it as big as possible. I cannot stress that enough. Even if you're using Evernote, you get the biggest picture you can and then size it down. Let's see here. What's one that we have? Okay, so here's the Are We There Yet? And I totally just copied and pasted this from a while ago. I'm going to fix this. This is a great time to be kind of tidying up all of the little mess ups that I have made. There's no question mark here. So there we go. I have that this is a scrapbooking one. I do put the code on here, their little item code. So verbiage is right here. And then we have our images, we have our dies. And I just kind of keep all of that in here. And then we have the picture, except that I put these, I'm glad I'm on here because this is tidying this up. Let's move that. Okay, so come away with me. Somehow got down here at this bottom. So let's see, how do I fix this? Let's cut this. And we're going to paste this up top. And then I think, there we go. Okay, come away with me. There we go, much tidier. I know I keep saying tidy, but it's just my brain, it needs things to be tidy right now. Okay, images, and let's bring the dies back over. Another way you could do this would be to put these all across the top. I mean, it's however your brain and your wants are. So it's a really fun program. When I used Evernote, I just had it in one little space, and then I had pictures that I added to it. But with this one, I've been able to move them around and kind of place them where I want them and keep them separate. So that's what I'm doing there. I did decide that all the current stamps that I own, not all the current stamps in the catalog, but only the ones I own, are going to go in this file first. And then I can click on them and I can move them to wherever I want to put them. So that is awesome. And so we'll have, all of them. I also have branched out with my month stamps. So far I've only done April and August. And I have all that information on here for both of those. But these are something that I don't go to as much, but I don't want to get rid of. So I thought I'm going to give them their own space. The A stamps, I also did put in this pound one or number one fan for just because this was easier. I didn't want to create a numerical set, but I will say I just got that adorable alphabet that I am dying to use. I just have to, let's see, where is it? Blooming Alphabet. Okay, now normally I would not write out all this information. This is a lot of information, but I figured because each alphabet letter has a different flower on it or a different set of flowers, that notating these was going to be beneficial to me. I might never use it, but I've saved myself time in the future of thinking I might. I'm looking forward to using these and cutting them up. I wish there was a die set for this, but that's okay that there's not. I will be cutting them and using them somehow. I just have to because they're just adorable. But I had to have that set. It was one of those that was like, oh, there's no way I'm not going to have this set. So hopefully I will have a need for it, because that's one thing I don't like is I buy things and I don't use it, because I'm a collector. I am definitely a collector. So this is what I am doing right now is I'm kind of revamping my OneNote area. I will share things as I kind of change things up more. I think that this is beneficial to some people. It might not be to others. If I've helped you in any way, wonderful. Let me know. If you have a better way of doing this, please let me know, because I'm always up for a new way of organizing. I tend to redo everything all the time. So if something works for you, let me know. I would love to try it out. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to continue organizing my paper. I hope you are having an amazing rest of your day. Oh, goodness. And thank you so much for taking time to spend with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and play today. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. Leave a comment and have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.